All right, man. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh Kwakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing this truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim. We almost out of here. Okay? And I'm going to go into this lesson on how the food and water is being poisoned and destroyed. The food and the water is purposely being poisoned and destroyed. When you look at these different news articles and they just coming down your timeline month after month after month about food factories exploding, food factories catching on fire, food factories having all kind of crazy things happen to them where they ultimately have to shut down. This is unprecedented. It's never happened in history with food factory after food factory just having explosions and fires. Okay, now that's dealing with the food. It's being destroyed. When you're dealing with the water, all of these different 18-wheeler spills, these train derailments, and they all happen to happen right there on the river, right there on the water. You have forever chemicals that's being leached into the water. You have these spills where all of these destructive, nasty chemicals are being emptied into the river. The river is the drinking water. The river is connected to other sources. Okay? This is all by design. Esau Edom, he wants to depopulate the world before this great reset happens, and that's where you get the term Jacob's trouble from. All holy hell will break loose. And when the economy crashes, and it will, when you put that on top of nobody has food and water, the average man is going to go fucking berserk. He's going to go crazy. Especially when you have faith in your governmental system and you trust them and you believe them and you don't think that they would allow certain things to happen. You've been going to work from 9 to 5 for 30 years, and then all of a sudden, overnight, it seems, nobody's there to help you. Nobody's there to deliver food to your family. You can't get water out of the faucet. You can't go to the store and buy food. America has more guns than it actually has people. And they will get put to use in the name of trying to get food, trying to get water. What they're going to end up doing is turning on one another. But let me get this scripture in 2 Corinthians. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We know what you're doing, Esau. We know exactly what you're doing. You can't fool us. And that's why you hate us so much. You're poisoning the water on purpose. You're destroying these food processing plants on purpose. You're sending out these different pestilences and diseases to fall upon these animals so they can die off on purpose, so that people can come run to you for guidance and help. And you're going to ultimately put something inside of their hand and or their forehead. Okay? And you know what I'm talking about, E. Let me get another scripture. And the only way to prepare for these things is spiritually. That's the only way to prepare. You have to have faith and trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and you have to understand prophecy and also who you are. This is Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation. And this is prophecy. Just to let you know that we're in the end. The scripture that I'm about to read. And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So you're going to have famines in different places of the world. You're going to have pestilences, which goes into disease. Earthquakes. These are the beginning. Nation against nation. You're going to have race wars. You're going to have kingdom against kingdom. Actual wars. Look at Russia and Ukraine. And the scriptures say all these are the beginning of sorrow. So this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So just imagine how bad it's going to get, to where a woman is going to get so hungry that she's going to slaughter her child, season him up, and eat him and cook him. That's what the scripture says. I didn't say it. The scripture said. And the Lord is ultimately responsible for all of these things. Esau thinks that he's operating under his own power, but the Lord is putting the spirit on him to fulfill prophecy. You can't take credit from the Lord, Esau. Okay, you can't, and you can't fight fate. All right, I want to get 2nd Ezra 15:5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Not having food is going to usher in all of these calamities. Not having food makes you not able to think right, and it ultimately instills fear. Not knowing how you're going to feed yourself. And what's worse for the family men and the family guys is not knowing how you're going to feed that 3, 4, 5-year-old child. Not knowing how you're going to take care of your family. Okay? And what your people are going to ultimately do is anything that the devil, the so-called white man, tells you to do. Everybody come congregate at Walmart. We're handing out meals. We're doing this. Next thing you know, you're going to be on a train headed somewhere to be reprogrammed. Okay? Or to be killed. Or both. All right? Let me keep reading. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Thus saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. So the Lord is tired of this wickedness being spread throughout the earth. Okay? And he's just at the point where prophecy has to be fulfilled, and you're at the end of your world. You're at the end of your world. I looked at TV the other day, and you got commercials coming on with two men together as a couple. Our children are watching these things. The Lord said, I'm not, you know what? The Lord said, this is it. That cup is full. Okay? It's over with. All right, I'm going to drop down to verse 11. But I will bring them, and he's talking about the elect. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now, this is spiritual Egypt. All right? This is spiritual Egypt. So the same thing that happened in ancient Egypt is going to happen over here in America. And with this prophecy, you clearly have to know that he's not talking about ancient Egypt. You have to know that. Okay? And that's why a lot of people can't understand the scriptures, because they can't get spiritual. They take everything so literal, right? And some scriptures are spiritual and literal. You know, you have multifold scriptures, but you have to have discernment from Yahweh Shem Yahushai to be able to understand, comprehend, and believe these things. You have to be able to open yourself up to the Lord and understand that you don't know nothing, man. We don't know nothing. Only thing that we know is what the Lord tells us. We know this Bible, man. We know the Lord, but we're just servants, and we believe what we read. That's what makes us different than the rest of the world, and it makes us special in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Abaratazah, we part of that number. Okay, what scripture I'm at? All right, verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn. So the workers, they're not going to have anything to harvest, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful constellation. They are not going to be able to produce food in the coming future. They're not going to have food to bring to the market. They're not. They're not. Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. And if you don't believe these things, just keep going to work and keep on living your life. Go to church on Sunday after you come from the club, getting high and shit on Saturday. Just keep on living your life, and the Lord is going to show you who's real and who's not. Okay? Go to Jesus Christ. Let's see if Jesus Christ stand up for you. Let's see if Jesus Christ warned you about the things that's coming. He can't and he won't. Right? I'm going to go to another scripture. This is 2nd Ezra 16:22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So we're coming into a time where the Lord has all the bases covered, and depending on your customized judgment, you're either going to die from famine, which equals starvation, the worst way to die, or you're going to end up getting killed. Okay, and the sword represents more than just weapons. Okay, the sword can also go into biological warfare. You can catch one of these new pestilences that this devil, Esau is cooking up in Dexter's laboratory. All right. Let me read verse 23. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. So they're gonna take these bodies and they're gonna dig holes, and they're just gonna with no ceremonies or nothing, and they're gonna have mass graves of people dying. And the reason that people are not gonna mourn and people are not gonna have funerals is because they're gonna be labeled as contagious. Okay, they're going to be labeled as contagious, and on top of that, the world is going to be so out of whack. Even if you did recover a body, the world is not operating the way that it used to. Now, you had a small, minute glimpse of that during the time of the pandemic. Okay, people weren't really going to funerals; they was having them live streamed. All right, it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be no funerals at all. You're gonna be walking over dead bodies. You're gonna be afraid. You're gonna be covering your nose not to get contaminated. You're gonna be dreaming about food and water. Right? I'm gonna keep reading. And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted and the city shall be cast down. So nobody's gonna be like, man, I heard about your dad, man. When is the funeral? No, the city is gonna be broken down. What does that mean? No food, no water, no power, no police. Right? And you're gonna have gangs going from house to house, trying to survive, robbing one another, killing one another, raping one another. Okay? You people are going to be your own judgment. You people that's coming against the men of the Lord, you are going to be your own judgment. Saying that to say this: the ones that be on the other side giving each other high fives, I love the white man, and yeah, man, they tripping. Y'all are going to kill one another over food. Y'all are going to kill one another. All right. Let me get another scripture real quick. This is it. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. So they're going to be robbing one another. They're going to be kicking your door in with their guns, laying the house down, telling everybody to lay face down and tying you up with zip ties. And after they get your food and they get their belly full, and when they get an erection, they're going to take it out on your wife and your daughter. And this world is so messed up with the LGBTQ and all that other stuff, they'll take it out on you too. Okay? It's a very, very scary time to be alive if you don't know the Lord, man. All right, let me keep reading. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And spoil their goods. So they're going to come in to take from you. They're going to take your gasoline, your generator, your food, your water, your clothes, your shoes, your guns, your bullets, your wife, your kids. All right. Let me get one more scripture. And I'm going to close out. Let me get this one more scripture. This is Isaiah. Let me see which one is at 13 and what. All right. This is Isaiah 13 and 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Right? So people come in, they're going to do whatever they want to do to your kids. They'll kill them just because they're bored and they don't have anything to do. And a lot of these bands of robbers and gangs are going to be teenagers. All right? They don't have as much empathy as older people do. They're just young, wild, stupid. Okay? Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. That word ravished goes into violated, raped. Okay? You know I can't say that word on YouTube, but it goes into them being taken by force. And you're going to be right there watching and witnessing these things, and you're going to have no power in your hand. And the people that do it, they're not going to be caught. They're not going to be prosecuted. They're going to go and do it to the next people. All right? But with that, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakwakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule and teach well unto the other Akim out here pushing truth into the four winds. Keep pushing Akim, Kwam Yasharala, Baba Bob.